this last item is also important to keep in mind. And so eventually, after all this speech, what are the benefits you can concretely expect as procurement, right? The first one is obviously to save time from all these manual tasks, because if you think about it, you spend most of your time actually looking for information, whether it's prices, contract terms, payment or delivery statuses. Most of the time we look for information. And so you could just get rid of this time and use it to something more value for your job and your company. Second, you could get deeper conversations with your stakeholders. And I just remember from my previous life in procurement that I would have like a meeting with my supplier just to say, okay, we don't have the same invoices between the one you sent and the one we receive, and trying to reconcile all of this. So that's a very manual task. And if all of this was solved, you could just say, okay, what about a development plan on reducing the plastic quote in our products, which would be like more value in your conversations. So the idea is just to be able to, again, talk more deeply, share roadmap, create development plans with your stakeholders, be it internal stakeholders or suppliers, obviously. And eventually, that's what creates strengthened relationships, because all the rest will be smoother and you could have deeper collaborations with them. This being said, we also said we wanted to mention concrete use cases, and I wanted to share 3 with you about how it could look like, or how it looks like. The first thing is about conversational procurement and conversational purchasing experience. We all know that P2P and ordering something can be very, very cumbersome for the business, because there are many rules, because they need to learn a lot of digital tools to do so. And so what if you could disrupt the way all your business purchase something by just having them speak or write or speak what they need, and don't have to focus on the process, on whether it's compliant or not. That's a huge change for them. The second thing I wanted to highlight in a video afterwards, it's being in the shoes of procurement or even compliance or legal people. And instead of browsing hundreds of contracts, thousands of pages within these contracts, to just ask, I want to know if I have an NDA with this company, and is this NDA still valid, and blah, and blah, and blah. So being able to very much accelerate the way you find data within your contract database. And last but not least, we talked about agents, and autonomous agent is the future. And we'll have a glimpse into how it could look like having an agent managing part of the process, part of the sourcing process, and in this case, a request for quotation. But we're gonna go through a first video about the conversational purchasing experience. And again, we are in the shoes of a casual user trying to order something, in this case, gloves and a mask. So I'm the user. I just want to say what I want. In this case, I'm writing. I could even speak with a vocal, for instance. And what it happens is the human language is understood by the machine, and I'm able to see that the machine says, okay, this is what you want. Do you want something else? Do you want something to add? And I just converse with the agent, and the agent knows there is a catalog item. So I don't go outside of the contract. There is a catalog item with a certain price, and I'm provided with this information. As a user, I just check the information is all right. I provide already the information. I want a pair of gloves, so only 2. I don't have to say I want 10 or 100, for instance. I just submit the request perfectly. And then the requisition is automatically created and automatically goes into an approval, let's say, workflow. So it's a very easy example, very straightforward, and it's really very much, I think, revolutionizes the way users interact with the purchasing process. The second example we'll see in the second video, it's again, we are in the shoes of a procurement person looking for an NDA. So I'm in my contract repository, and I want to specify a couple of things, again, to narrow down the universe of contracts I want to look at the agent to look into, so that it's more precise. and I'm going to chat with the agent and say, hey, can you tell me if I have an NDA with this specific company? And in a couple of seconds, I had the answer. And I can have even ask a second question about, is this NDA still valid? And I could go on with the agent for more and more questioning. So again, that's if we take into account that most of the time we look for information in contracts, that's a huge productivity gain for the buyers and even for any person that has access to the contracts. And the last example I want to give in the last video, in the third video, again, it's more about autonomous sourcing. Here, the use case is imagine you're somebody in a production line in a factory, for instance. You have a something which is broken, and you need a spare part to repair your machine and get the production line going. And so this example is a mobile example. So you've taken a picture of the missing item, for instance, and you just want to say, well, I need this gearbox, for instance, and the agent is able to directly create and launch the process, and you just approve the launch of the process, and the agent will say, okay, I send out the request to my preferred list of suppliers, and you get back some bids from the suppliers. In this case, only one bid. You get the assessment of the agent, which says it's a competitive offer from this supplier. It's been available in 4 hours, for instance. And again, as a person, human being, you approve or you disapprove of this first choice. And afterwards, the order is launched and the process goes on automatically. So what you see here is there's an input provided by the human being, the picture of the missing part. There are gateways where the human being approves the awarding scenario, for instance, or the preferred list of suppliers. And then where it can be automated, it is automated, and the agent goes on with the process. So this was my last use case I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you like it. And obviously, you can get in contact with us for more use cases. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Arnaud. Thank you very much, Natasha, as well. Really